If Excel won't add your numbers, you're not alone, and it's usually not a broken sum formula. Most of the time, the values you think are numbers are actually stored as text, and when that happens, sum can return 0, ignore cells, or give totals that look randomly wrong. In this video, you'll learn how to spot the text versus number problem fast and how to fix it in a clean, repeatable way. We'll cover the quick checks first, then the reliable conversions, and finally a few tricky cases like imported data, spaces, and decimal separators. The goal is simple. When you paste or import data, you should be able to trust your totals. By the end, you'll have a small toolkit, several methods, not just one, so you can pick the safest fix for your situation. Let's start with the most important idea. Excel can display digits, but still treat them like text. Next step. Before you fix anything, confirm what Excel thinks the cells are, because a cell can look like a number and still be text. A quick clue is alignment. Many default setups align numbers to the right and text to the left, but don't rely on that alone. Another clue is the little green triangle warning, which often indicates number stored as text. You can also check the number format dropdown. If it says text, that's a strong signal. For a more reliable test, use a simple check like IS number on one of the cells. If IS number returns false, sum will treat that entry as non-numeric. Also watch for leading apostrophes. An apostrophe forces text, even when the rest looks numeric. The key takeaway is that you're not debugging sum yet. You're diagnosing the data type. Once you know it's text, the fix becomes straightforward, and you can choose the safest conversion method for your dataset. Next step. One common trap is thinking that formatting changes the underlying value. It doesn't. If you select a column and switch the format from text to number, Excel often keeps the original text values. You've changed how Excel would display a number, but you didn't actually convert the text into a real numeric value. That's why sum still won't work, even though the cells look normal. This is especially common after pasting from websites, PDFs, or exported reports. The data arrives as text, and formatting alone can't fix it. So the rule is, formatting is cosmetic, conversion is structural. When you need sum to work, you must convert the stored value. In the next scenes, we'll go through several conversion methods, from quick and simple to more controlled, so you can handle both small lists and large imported datasets without breaking anything else in your worksheet. Next step. If you see the green triangle warning, the fastest fix is often built in. Select the affected cells, then use the warning option that says something like convert to number. This usually converts clean numeric text into true numbers in place. It's quick and it preserves the visible value, but it has limits. If your text contains hidden spaces, unusual separators, or currency symbols Excel can't interpret, the conversion may fail or only partially work. Also, if you have thousands of rows, you'll want a method that's more predictable and repeatable. Still, for a small dataset, this is a great first attempt. After converting, retest with IS number or simply try sum again. If it still doesn't add up, that's a sign you're dealing with one of the tricky cases, like non-breaking spaces or mixed decimal formats, which we'll handle with more robust techniques. Next step. A surprisingly reliable conversion trick is the multiply by 1 method. Here's the idea. Text won't multiply, so Excel is forced to interpret it as a number if it can. You type 1 in an empty cell, copy it, select your text numbers, and use paste special with multiply. If the text is truly numeric, it turns into a real number instantly. Another variation is adding 0, which works the same way. This method is fast for large ranges and doesn't require extra columns. But be careful. If some entries contain non-numeric characters, those cells may stay as text or turn into errors, depending on the content. So it's best when you expect the column to be numeric and you want a broad conversion. Afterward, apply a consistent number format, and your sum should start behaving like you expected from the beginning. Next step. Another clean approach is using text to columns, even if you're not splitting anything. This tool is great because it reparses the data and can convert numeric text into numbers in a controlled way. You select the column, open text to columns, choose delimited, then click through without selecting delimiters, and finish. Excel will often interpret the content and convert it. The big advantage is that it can handle certain spacing and formatting issues more gracefully than the warning icon. It's also repeatable, which matters when you receive the same export every week or month. The downside is that it's easy to accidentally change date-like values into dates or strip leading zeros from codes that are meant to stay as text. So use it on columns that should truly be numeric, like amounts, quantities, or hours, not IDs or zip codes. Next step. If your numbers contain extra spaces, some can break in a way that's hard to spot. Regular spaces at the start or end are common, but there's also the non-breaking space character, which often comes from web pages or copied tables. Trim removes many normal extra spaces, and clean can remove some non-printing characters. A practical workflow is to create a helper column that uses trim, or trim combined with clean, then convert the result to a number. You can convert by wrapping it with value or by using the multiply by 1 trick on the cleaned output. Once it's correct, you can paste values back over the original column. The key point is order. First remove the junk characters, then convert to a number. If you convert first, Excel may refuse because the text isn't purely numeric yet. Next step. Now let's talk about decimal and thousand separators, because this is a classic reason totals don't match. Some data uses a comma as the decimal separator, like 12,50, while others use a dot, like 12.50. If your Excel settings expect one style and your data uses the other, values may remain as text, or worse, convert incorrectly. You might also see thousand separators like 1,234 or 1.234, depending on region. The safest fix is to standardize the separators before converting. Find and replace can work, but you must be careful not to break thousands formatting. For more control, use a helper column and a conversion function that respects the intended separators. Then validate a few sample values manually. The goal isn't just to make sum work, it's to make sure you're summing the correct magnitudes, not numbers that got shifted by a factor of 10 or 1,000. Next step. Sometimes the data looks numeric, but it includes symbols, like currency signs, percent signs, or units. Excel can interpret some of these, but not consistently across sources. For example, $1,200 might convert, while 1,200 USD might not. The best approach is to remove the extra characters first. You can use find and replace for simple cases, like removing USD or a trailing unit. If the pattern is more complex, use a helper column that strips symbols, then converts. After conversion, reapply formatting as a number, currency, or percentage, because now formatting is safe and meaningful. Also be careful with percentages. 15% is stored as 0.15 when numeric. If someone typed 15 intending 15%, that's a different problem. So confirm the meaning of the data before you convert, especially in financial or reporting sheets. Next step. After you've fixed the text versus number issue, do a quick audit so you don't get surprised later. First, test sum on the full range, and on a small subset you can verify mentally. Next, use count and counta. Count counts numeric cells, while counta counts non-empty cells. If counta is much larger than count in a numeric column, you still have text hiding in there. You can also use a filter or helper check like isNumber to flag the remaining problem rows. Another good habit is to keep raw imported data separate from your cleaned calculation table. That way, you can repeat the same cleaning steps each time without damaging the original. The point of this audit is confidence. When totals drive decisions, you want a quick way to prove your column is truly numeric. Next step. Let's wrap this up into a simple decision path you can reuse. If you have a few cells and a warning icon, try convert to number. If you have a big, clean column, multiply by 1 is fast and effective. If the data comes from imports and you want a repeatable tool, text to columns is a strong option. If sum still fails, suspect hidden spaces, non-breaking spaces, or symbols. Clean first, then convert. And if the values look off, check decimal and thousand separators before you trust the totals. Finally, remember that some values should stay as text, like IDs with leading zeros. In those cases, the fix is not to force them into numbers, but to keep them separate from calculations. If you want one takeaway, it's this. Sum is usually telling the truth. It's your data type that's lying. If this helped, subscribe for more practical Excel fixes, and comment, do you run into this more from copy-paste or from CSV imports? Small tweaks compound into massive performance gains. Subscribe to catch the next workflow optimization.